Bienvenidos a Esperanza Pense, donde la Esperanza Pense. Welcome to Esperanza Pense, where hope wins. Well, look at me, I'm busting out with the big dogs today, huh? We got the Sacred Path cards for our Oracle deck. A classic, the very first deck I've ever worked with, and a very powerful deck. And the Splendor Solis Tarot, which was gifted to me by our dear friend Janice, who is at the homestead raising goats and mischief. Goats and mischief. No, she has goats, she has pigs, she has all kinds of animals over there, rabbits, and I love Janice dearly, and thank you very much for these gifts. So I'm shuffling over here. We can put that off to the side. Isn't that just so pretty? Oh my gosh. The gold. And then like on the deck too, this, I don't know if you can tell, but the side of the cards is gold. I love gold. I love the sun, you know, that sun energy. So let's see what Splendor Solis has to say for this Venus Day, 8th of May, 2026. We're moving into Mother's Day weekend here in the United States. I don't know when they celebrate Mother's Day other places, but for you mothers out there, or for those of you who are in tune with your divine maternal energy, oops, there's our reading. God bless you. And happy Mother's Day. For our reading today, 5 of Swords reversed. I wonder how I can get all of these. These are big cards. Okay, so we got 5 of Swords reversed. Thanks for bearing with me. Ooh, we got Page of Wands. We got 10 of Swords reversed. We got the Tower. Ho ho. And we got the King of Pentacles. Gosh, this artwork is just so mesmerizing to me. I think you can see for the most part, right? 5 of Swords reversed. 5 of Swords upright is usually when somebody's getting away with something just because the other characters in the scene don't want to play the games anymore. But with the 5 of Swords reversed, you know, there actually might be a need to defend the idea that is worth defending, to argue what is worth arguing, to prove a point that's worth proving. You got to pick and choose your battles, and that is the lesson of the 5 of Swords reversed. You got to pick and choose your battles, and you got to pick and choose who you're going to go to battle with and for whom. Who are you going to defend, and what are situations where you and your homies are just going to back off slowly back away? You know what I mean? And just let the evil geniuses do what they do. You know what I mean? 5 of Swords reversed carries all that energy. Mental energy. Mental battlefields. And being mentally prepared, and being mentally prepared to back off when needed. To back away and back off when needed. Page of Wands. Okay, so now our fire energy is back up, right? This is new beginnings. Maybe that Knight of Wands reversed from yesterday, the want, the kind of like energy, the limp dick energy, not the BDE energy, but that was limp dick energy. And now the Page of Wands is youthful energy. We're getting our spark back, you know. Maybe we're going to get a nice little message on a Venus day on a Friday. Maybe someone is going to flirt with us. Maybe it'll be somebody younger than the person that we were thinking about. Maybe we feel a little bit rejuvenated in some kind of way because maybe we were able to release and let go of some of that emotional situation when we were having, you know, with Pluto going retrograde and making I mean, Venus is the hero of the day right now. I think Venus is softening a lot of the deeper emotional muck that might come up with this Pluto being internalized, right? And for me personally, when a planet stations, it's pretty strong. And now by Friday, as things are kind of loosening up a little bit, we might be able to lean into our fun a little bit more. We did pull the fun card twice this week for our dumpster fire oracle. So with the Page of Wands, we might just be getting some cute little messages of fun-loving energy. Sagittarius, Aries, Leo energy. Could be somebody that has some fire in their chart. Ten of Swords reversed. So Ten of Swords upright is pretty much, you know, that's the end of a painful cycle. Ten of Swords reversed means that we might still be going through it, but we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're starting to see what we can do constructively with these thoughts, and also what we can do constructively about stuff that there's nothing we can do about. You know what I mean? The Ten of Swords, for me, always, upright or reversed, is energy that's coming from the outside. And when this Ten of Swords is reversed and we're internalizing this energy, we want to just be really careful not to internalize the thoughts of the world, not to internalize the news, not to internalize the information overload, not to make that our problem. We are part of the whole. We are part of the collective. We are each playing our part. But what's being shot at us, we don't always have to take it. And I mean that in all the ways. Okay? The Tower, whoa. In this deck, it's called White Queen. Ooh, spooky. Alchemy of the Tower. Well, what does that mean? That means that the structures that have been built on false pretenses, the structures that have been built on false foundations, the structures that have been built overnight, you know, like those ugly buildings that pop up overnight, like those are the situations and structures and maybe even long held foundations in our life that are crumbling beneath our feet, and it's like sand going through the gripped clenched fist of someone. Just the sands of time are running out. The sands, like, just basically I just keep seeing like foundations turn to sand, foundations turn to sand. So yeah, so let's go to the sandy beach. Life's the beach. Let's put our toes in the sand. The Tower is that Uranus energy. It's shocks, surprises, lightning bolts, realizations, but it's absolutely disruptive energy, and it's absolutely energy that we couldn't even prepare ourselves for. No amount of tarot cards could prepare us for this type of surprise. Okay? So keep your eyes peeled. And then we have the King of Pentacles here. Thankfully, because after this Tower moment, after we feel destabilized, after we feel like our world is getting ripped out underneath, like the rug is getting ripped out from underneath, at least we have the King of Pentacles here, who is a good father figure, a good husband. This is somebody with a lot of earth in their chart, probably Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, practical person that's able to deal with finances and the day-to-day things, so that the rest of us can be, you know, the Page of Wands and do our creative stuff. This is the person that remembers to pay the bills on time. This is the person that remembers to eat their meals when they're supposed to. This is the person that cares for the yard and cares for the home. And this is the person that gets the practical everyday things done so that our spirit can soar. This is all energy that we can think about today. I shuffled this deck for our Sacred Path card, but I'll shuffle it a little bit more, and then we're just going to see what Sacred Path has to tell us today and into this weekend. What messages? Medicine bundle, allies, support. Wonderful. Let's see what it says in the book. It's garbage day. So you can hear the trucks back there. 28. Medicine bundle, allies, support. Symbols of connections with allies of the earth. Medicine to heal us and give us rebirth. Talents to honor, abilities to praise, strength and compassion guide our medicine ways. The medicine bundle is a collection of items that has come to you in a variety of ways, and it represents the totems of your power, animals, or allies among nature. In a medicine bundle, you might find a seed pod, a tobacco tie, a ball of dried sap from a pine tree, a scalp lock, an elf tooth, horsehair, a quartz crystal, an otter tail, a stone person, a special string of beads, or any other item that represents medicine to the bundle's owner. In ancient times, many of the items were of special significance among the tribes and nations of Native America. For instance, the Crow believed that an elk tooth was medicine that would bring abundance in a material manner to the owner. A piece of blue cloth meant good luck, bear hair and claws would keep a warrior's horse in prime shape, and a swallow wing would give power to evade enemies. Medicine bundles were used for many different things. There were bundles for personal medicine, tribal bundles, warrior bundles, sundance bundles, giving birth bundles, hunting bundles, dreaming bundles, and vision bundles. Some bundles would be created by a medicine man or woman for special needs, or people could create their own. Hi, sweetheart. Do you want to come sit with me? You want to come sit with me? There's a little squirrel over there. Likes my story. Some were passed down before death to a family member or worthy tribal member. The passing of the medicine was to ensure the proper use and guardianship of the medicine bundle. Ooh, this is important because this has to do with some of the things that we've been seeing in the news lately, especially in the spiritual community. I could think of a few characters that they've been talking about. I have no idea who these people are because, literally, if you start naming astrologers, astrologers are like celebrities to me. Anybody on, Gaia TV or what the fuck ever. I have no idea who these people are. But this is a hot topic. To lie about having received messages from your power totem or a vision of your path was to invite disaster. And yet for a tribe to have a brave without medicine was worse. Wow. So you got to be really careful about how you present your gifts, and are you being honest about what you see? And if you're not sure, maybe be sure before you start trying to show off, right? This is actually really, really long, so I'm not going to read through the whole thing. But it says if the medicine bundle has come into your hands today, you're being asked to honor the wisdom of your ancestors and the allies. If you're not sure what the messages are, look at the strengths that are now being given to you and count them as your personal medicine. So what are your strengths? And focus on those. The assistance in supporting your present path should be recognized as blessings from your medicine helpers. The focus of this card tells you that you are not alone. The The path may be difficult at this time, but you are being supported during your climb. If the path is progressing easily, you are in alignment with the allies and are experiencing their assistance. Be grateful. In all instances, you're being asked to note who is helping and see if you could return the favor by supporting others. The assistance of the medicine helpers does not falter when you stumble on your path. By example, you should also remain true to others you have assisted. Betrayal after trust is deadly. To have allies, you must also learn how to be one. And look, the sun comes out, my ally, the sun. Thank you so much for sitting here and sharing some time with me. I love you. We'll talk about the astrology in just a second. Okie dokie, so we see that Mars and Jupiter are still squaring off, but that Moon has moved out of the opposition and now it's approaching Pluto to bring us a lot of depth, a lot of emotional depth, a lot of transformation, especially since with Pluto gone retrograde recently, we might be internalizing some of that really powerful detoxification energy. And we see that we're in a trine here with Uranus, so there might be some surprising, I would say even on a Venus day like today, well, let's keep our eyes peeled for spontaneous healings or spontaneous situations to where emotionally we might have like a surprising emotional depth as we move through the day, even with strangers. So thank you. Have a happy weekend and happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. Love you. Bye.